What is up, guys? What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. To all the new people here, what is up? Right now we're working on the 350Z. I'm in the process of removing the rear subframe. I started this and worked on it for like 2 hours, but let me show you what I got done so far. I got the wheels off, car jacked up obviously, got the brake cable removed. There's a 12mm nut that holds it there up in place on the subframe, and then back here, and then once you get that nut removed in the back that holds the cable in, right here, you can't see it right now because I took it off, but there is this little bracket here which holds the brake cable in place. It actually goes like this. Obviously you have to remove your exhaust. I just took it off from the white pipe back, so it's not in the way. There it is. And then you also need to remove your drive shaft. Make sure to mark a line right here and on the differential exactly where it was at. Also right here, you got to remove this metal brace, which is right there. So there's two on each side. There's one here. What else? Now I'm gonna save this one for last, but then you gotta remove this bolt from the shock, and then there's pretty much a bolt here that holds the subframe or not. One here, which I haven't loosened yet. And then attached to that, there's two bolts here. One here, one there, which I already removed. And then one more over here. What else? Also, this connector right here, which I still need to undo, that goes to the diff. So you just unplug it from right here and kind of leave it hanging up there. That's kind of it for down here. Oh, and your brakes. You want to unbolt your brakes from back here on the knuckle. There's a 19 there, and a 19 on the other side. Well, no, this is the wrong spot, but there's two 19s that hold your brake caliper up. You want to just take that off and hang it up there. Alright guys, I got these two bolts out on the shocks. So now those are loose. Now basically all I gotta do is remove the 4 nuts that are holding the subframe in, which is this one, which is already loose. One there, one on that corner, and then the other corner. Alright guys, I got the subframe out, but don't do the mistake I did. So I had the jack set too far back on the diff. I should have had it set like more forward. This side came down first. This is probably the heaviest, and it got kind of stuck right here. Luckily this didn't get bent. And then that cable, I should have pushed it more forward because it kind of got caught dragging it out. But other than that, subframe is out. Alright, so it is a few days later now. I got the subframe washed up. I didn't really record that, but now I'm going to start the process of actually taking the bushings out. And I don't have a sawzall, but I'm going to be using a jigsaw that I have. Seems to be working. I'll show you guys what I've done so far. So the subframe is cleaner than it was. Now I'm just going to use the jigsaw to cut these out. Alright, so I should have been recording this, but this was actually pretty easy to get out. So after I jigsawed the two edges that were holding the centerpiece in, so once I cut these two edges out, I got a screwdriver and stuck it in between where the rubber meets the metal. Kind of just hammered it down against the wall. Then that piece of rubber just came out. Then I got the jigsaw, cut a small thin line. Even though it's a wood blade, it cut through it. Then I just got a screwdriver, put the screwdriver right here, hammered it down, and then it just came out. So once you have this side here done with the bigger ones, you want to flip the subframe over so the flatter side is up for this side. And then I'm going to take a different approach, drill holes right here all the way around, and then go with the jigsaw and cut the metal out. Alright, so now I made a slit from the top with the jigsaw this way, but I'm going to turn it around and do it from the bottom because it's not cutting evenly. It's cutting more this way rather than evenly straight up and down. So like, see, it already went in right here, but at the bottom it hasn't. Alright, all 4 subframe bushings are out. Before I put these in, I'm going to remove the diff so I could take off those bushings before I do the easy part, which will be putting them in. So first things first on the diff, I'm going to take off these 2 speed sensors. So there's one here, 12mm bolt, and one there, which I already removed. Now there's a 17mm bolt in here, and then 2 back there. And then these are 14mm, I believe. Alright guys, now on the differential itself, similar to these ones here, I already drilled holes all the way around. And then the last step is going to be to take the jigsaw around and get that inner piece out before we proceed. Now that this is cut out, we're going to chisel all this little rubber piece off. So just chisel it kind of like this, and then it's going to start coming off. Just like that. So once you got that piece chiseled off the rubber, you're going to cut 2 lines in here like this, and then this top portion has a little lip in here. See, the bottom doesn't. What you're going to do is get your screwdriver and you're going to hammer this in. Let me put the camera on the tripod. So I went in too far right here, but I mean, that's no big deal. We'll just sand this down a little bit. Now another thing you can do is clean the inside with a wire brush just to get anything out that's stuck, and it's going to make it easier to get those bushings in. Dang, look at this, so easy. Now one important thing you want to do is when you cut these out, you probably scarred in here, so use some sort of sandpaper. I just put this one on my drill and cleaned it out, so this one worked really good for that purpose. Alright, so yesterday my camera died, but I ended up getting this bushing out, sanded it down, wire brushed it. So now that all the old bushings are out, it's time to put the new ones in. So I'm just going to take these out of the freezer one by one and try to slip them in. That was pretty easy. Okay, so I got 3 of them in. 1, 2, and then 3. This one is giving me trouble, so I'm gonna keep drilling this out with the sander and then wire brushing it. So I want this to go in smoothly. I don't want it to get stuck and then I have to hammer it in. That show is being hella stubborn, man. Here we go. So now we just gotta do this one. Alright, so I wasn't filming, but I just blowtorched this a little bit, and this one seemed to slip right in. It's still a little bit frozen. But yeah, all these bushings are on. I hope I didn't push this in too far. I mean, it's not sticking out, but I honestly don't know if it just goes like flush or out a little bit or in, but I guess we'll find out the hard way. Alright guys, so the other day as I was installing the diff, my camera ran out of memory. So I got the diff installed, everything's ready to go in, all the subframe bushings are in. I'm not going to try and film every single thing right now because I'm just trying to get this done and out of the way already. But here it is, all the subframe bushings are in, diff is in, changed the diff fluid, and yeah, this is ready to go back in. Alright guys, so I got the subframe kind of mocked up here right now. I was told by Njuku Racing that these, to remain stock height subframe, these thick shims go on the front side of the subframe. So I need to install these like so before I jack it all the way up. Okay guys, subframe is up. Got the spacer in there. This side is up. Got this bracket up right now. Now we gotta install this kidney bracket looking thing. So let's get to it. Okay, so we got this one on, we got the other side on. Now I think I'm gonna get under the car and start doing the drive shaft. Okay, so we got the drive line connected again. In the beginning of the video I talked about removing this brake cable assembly, so I'm going to show you guys how to put it in, and then maybe I'll make a little bit more sense then. So I got the cable back fed through the back, and then I pulled this part out. So I don't know if it's going to focus. Now this thing right here goes in the end. So this little pin right here, this goes through the end, this pin drops through and holds it in place. Okay, so this is a piece that goes in here like this. So right here, you pull this tab like that. You're going to insert it right here. And then you're just going to grab your pin. Dropped it. Grab your pin. Put it through there. So then once that pin is in like that, you just fold this back. Like so. And then this part goes up in here. And then what makes this easier is this top thing right here. So I cranked it this way up to loosen the brake cable. So what you want to do now is go this way to tighten it again. And this will make these things tight, and it'll make these two come back together and squeeze that bracket again. So that's what it looks like when it's back together. You got your spring up here, and then you want to make sure your spring is flat on here. If it's not flat and this little piece is up, it's because it's not in this hole all the way. So make sure you get that in all the way. And then once you do that, back here on the brake cable, there is a, right here. So you got to put the bolt back in this bracket that goes to the brake cable. Alright guys, I feel like a dummy right now. So once I put the brake lines back on, went to pull the brake, I'm like, why is it so loose? So I kept messing with the adjustment inside on the cable, and then out here I kept pulling. I'm like, why is it so loose? And finally it popped in my head, when you pull the handbrake, the brake pads expand. So I didn't have the rotor on, so there was nothing for them to expand on, so therefore it wasn't tight. So finally I put the rotors on, pulled the handbrake, and it's tight. So if you guys run into the same problem, just make sure you put your rotors on first, then try your handbrake. Alright guys, I just finished putting everything back together. Have the car running right now. Everything looks good. Just got to take it off the jack stands now, and we're going to take this thing for a test drive, see how it feels. I'm in the middle of driving the car right now. Everything feels really good. Feels a lot more solid in the rear end. No more sloppiness from the diff and the subframe. So overall, I'm happy that I got this done and out of the way. One less thing to worry about on this car. Alright guys, so that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it helped some of you in the process of doing it on your own car. I'm going to finish cleaning up the garage and then pull the car back in. So if you liked the video, be sure to like and subscribe, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below. See you guys in the next video. Peace.